Hi there. We're on day 253 of our Through the Bible in 1 Year. Ezekiel 42 and 43 today. We were right in the middle of an angel or somebody taking Ezekiel around and showing him the new temple that was to be built and getting all the measurements, wanting him to write everything down. To me, this is very boring, okay? It's this kind of stuff. This by this and this by this and up and down. But we're going to read the whole Bible in a year, which includes this part. So let's read through these. Okay. Now we did the outside and all the doors and all the gates and all the walls and the outer chamber and the inner chamber and the holy chamber and the chambers where they are going to slaughter all the animals. And now we're at the priest chamber. So there we go. Then the man led me out by the way of the north gate into the outer court. He brought me into the group of chambers opposite the temple yard and opposite the building up to the north. Along the length of the chambers, which was 175 feet, there was an entrance on the north. The width was 87.5 feet, opposite the 35-foot space belonging to the inner court, and the opposite the paved surface belonging to the outer court. The structure rose gallery by gallery in 3 tiers. In front of the chambers was a walkway toward the inside, 17.5 feet wide, 175 feet long, and their entrances were on the north. The upper chambers were narrower because the galleries took away more space from them than from the lower and middle stories of the building. For they were arranged in 3 stories and had no pillars like the pillars of the courts. Therefore the upper chambers set back from the ground more than the lower and middle stories. I guess they staggered them like this, right? So they wouldn't need pillars. Okay. A wall on the outside ran in front of the chambers parallel to them towards the outer court. It was 87.5 feet long, for the chambers on the outer court were 87.5 feet long, while those facing the great wall were 175 feet long. In the base of these chambers there was an entryway at the east side as one enters them from the outer court. Yeah. In the thickness of the wall of the court towards the south, there were chambers facing the temple yard and the western building, with a passageway in front of them, just like the chambers that faced north. Their length and width, as well as their exits, measurements, and entrances, were identical. The entrance at the beginning of the passageway, the way in front of the corresponding wall, as one enters on the east side, was similar to the entrances of the chambers that were on the south side. Then the man said to me, the northern and southern chambers that face the temple yard are the holy chambers, where the priest who approach the Lord will eat the most holy offerings. There they will deposit the most holy offerings, the grain offerings, sin offerings, restitution offerings, for this place is holy. Once the priests have entered, they must not go out from the holy area to the outer court until they have removed the clothes they minister in, for these are holy. They are to put on other clothes before they approach the public area. Okay. Outside dimensions of the temple complex. Are you ready? Outside dimensions of the whole complex. When he finished measuring inside the temple complex, he led me out by way of the gate that faced the east and measured all around the complex. There we go. And all sides are the same, okay? The east side, measuring rod, was 875 feet. He measured the north side, 875 feet. He measured the south side, 875 feet. And measured the west side, 875 feet. He measured the temple complex on all 4 sides and had a wall around it, 875 feet long, 875 feet wide, to separate the holy from the common. That's big, huh? That's huge. Okay, 43. Return of the Lord's glory. He led me to the gate from the one that faces east, and I saw the glory of God of Israel coming from the east. His voice sounded like a roar of mighty waters, and the earth shone with his glory. The vision I saw was like the one I had when he had come to destroy the city, and like the ones I had seen by the Cedar Canal. I fell face down. The glory of the Lord entered the temple by the gate that faced east. Then the Spirit lifted me up and brought me to the inner court, and the glory of the Lord filled the temple. While the man was standing beside me, I heard someone speaking to me from the temple. He said to me, Son of man, this is the place of my throne and the place for the soles of my feet, where I will dwell among the Israelites forever. The house of Israel and their kings will no longer defile my holy name by their religious prostitution and by the corpses of their kings in their high places. Whenever they place their threshold next to my threshold, at their doorpost, beside my doorpost, with only a wall between me and them, they were defiling my holy name by the detestable acts they committed. So I destroyed them in my anger. Now let them remove their prostitution and the corpses of their kings far from me, and I will dwell among them forever. As for you, son of man, describe the temple to the house of Israel, so that they may be ashamed of their iniquities. Let them measure its pattern, and they will be ashamed of all that they have done. Reveal the design of the temple to them, its layout, with its exits and entrances, its complete design, along with all the statues, design specifications and laws. Write down in their sight, so that they may observe its complete design with all its statues and may carry them out. This is the law of the temple. All its surrounding territory on top of the mountain will be especially holy. Yes, this is the law of the temple. Right. The altar. These are the measurements of the altar in the units of length, each unit being the standard length plus 3 inches. The gutter is 21 inches deep and 21 inches wide, with a rim of 9 inches around its edge. This is the base of the altar. The distance from the gutter on the ground to the lower edge is 3.5 feet, and the width of the edge is 21 inches. There are 7 feet from the small edge to the large edge, whose width is also 21 inches. The altar hearth is 7 feet high, and 4 horns project upward from the earth. The hearth is square from the hearth. The hearth is square, 21 feet long by 21 feet wide. That's huge. The ledge is 24.5 feet long by 24.5 feet wide, with 4 equal sides. The rim all around is 10.5 inches, and its gutter is 21 inches all around it. The altar steps face east. Then he said to me, Son of man, this is what the Lord God says. These are the statutes for the altar on the day that it is constructed, so that burnt offerings may be sacrificed on it, and blood may be sprinkled on it. You are to give a bull from the herd as a sin offering to the Levitical priests who are from the offspring of Zadok, who approached me in order to serve me. This is the declaration of the Lord God. You must take some of its blood and apply it to the 4 horns of the altar, the 4 corners of the ledge, and all around the rim. In this way you will purify the altar and make atonement for it. Then you must take away the bull for the sin offering, and it must be burned outside the sanctuary in the place appointed for the temple. On the 2nd day you are to present an unblemished male goat as a sin offering. They will purify the altar just as they did with the bull. When you have finished the purification, you are to present the young unblemished bull and an unblemished ram from the flock. You must present them before the Lord. The priest will throw salt on them and sacrifice them as a burnt offering to the Lord. You will offer a goat for a sin offering each day for 7 days. A young bull and a ram from the flock, both unblemished, must also be offered. For 7 days the priests are to make atonement for the altar and cleanse it. In this way they will consecrate it and complete the days of purification. Then on the 8th day and afterward, the priest will offer your burnt offerings and fellowship offerings on the altar, and I will accept you. This is the declaration of the Lord God. So, there you go. That wasn't too long, huh? Lots of measurements and rules and stuff. So, there you go. That's today. That was short and sweet, right? And tomorrow, 2 more chapters. And then I think the last of it is the day after. So the prince's privilege, the Levite's duties, priest duties and privileges, sacred portion of the land, people's contribution to the sacrifices. Okay. Well, there you go. We're getting through it, aren't we? So there you go. That's day 250. What did I say? 3? Yeah, 253 of 365. So we're getting there, right? Right. And I'm not sure how much more Old Testament we got. I know we're on the last quarter, so, we have, this month and then October, November, December. So pretty soon we got to be getting into the New Testament, right? But till we do, we'll keep studying the Old Testament. We want to get every single word of the Bible read in a year. So catch up on any you miss. You want to say you got the whole Bible in a year without missing anything. All right, something you'll never forget. And give us a like if you think about it. Till next time, we'll keep going. See ya.